I think this is really tough for USA. This is absolutely their hardest game so far, but prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
The good news is that we scolded Emmy between
Yeah,
series.
we did,
so
yeah.
we shouldn't see another P90, but we'll see what happens. I feel like she's she's an uncontrollable force. Let's see. Team USA getting aggro early, going to be dropping down lowers. Have they managed to cross successfully? That's the question.
Yeah, they have. You got to be careful. D7 checking it out alongside Catty Jones. First blood drawn, not yet, but suddenly it is Emmy finding Zana, and the bomb drops off as well. And look at Portugal. They're just running at them. They're trying to chase them down.
Yeah, Emily's fingers. She has to fall back. D7 seeing if Olya is going to poke her head out indoors. You can see she is considering it. P2K close by. But I think they just go to A here off that information.
Yeah, look, there's no one here. That you've only got to play it in CT, and that's Kelsey. There is a smoking kit in play for Team USA. They can play retake.
Yeah, this should be a bomb plant for Portugal, which already feels like a good position to be in. They've got full long control as well. They don't know it yet.
They're not holding short right now, though. That's the consideration, because USA are already flanking.
Looking for the default plant, so it will be kind of planted for that player out towards long, which is going to be Ida. They've got full control there, so they're going to anticipate this is going to be the short play.
Yeah, and this actually being planted not for short really benefits Portugal. Emily, low HP, is going to go first. No one from Portugal is peeking. They're playing incredibly disciplined right now. USA have got to make a move soon.
Well, Eunice held onto this flashbang for the entire round, and she's going to throw it out just as they start to accelerate. Everyone is blinded in short side, but Emily still gets a kill with low HP. D7 trying to connect the dots, will eventually find that frag, but she's running out of teammates. And in fact, it's been the full reroute from Ida. She came all the way from long, denies that defuse, and has she done it? That's down to the wire. Nope. It goes the way of Portugal.
Yeah, look at that from Ida. Completely leaves long because she's not been involved in the fight at all. So she resets and goes back towards short, and it is the unknown element and strikes down USA because USA had got really good positioning on that site. D7 uncharacteristically whipping some key shots. But it's Ida that takes the space and immediately gets one round on the board for Portugal. Up until that after one, it all looked good. And I think that's going to actually be the key point of contention in this series is how good the afterplants look. So we saw that they were shaky from USA. That already looked a little bit touch and go from Portugal.
Yeah, I think that's that's definitely something to be keeping an eye on for Team USA. We'll say they were very good at retakes at the very least. So they kind of made it up for it there. As soon as we get the Vista round done, we get a slide tech delay, hopefully not too long. Who's playing with the sideways monitor down the end? That's crazy. Who is that?
It's Yun, I think. Yeah, Yun, because you've got D7, then Yun, Ida, Zana, Catty Jones.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't see D7 because she was blocked by the sideways monitor.
Blocked by the monitor, yeah.
All right. But a deagle for Emmy.
Last time we saw Team USA play Dust 2, it was against Team Canada in the qualifiers, and they ran over them. Like, it was very dominant. It was extremely aggressive. The thing is, again, I just think the individuals for Team Portugal are better.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Catty Jones and Ewan, kind of mentioned, we haven't seen them at the top level at Women's CS so much, but I think what we saw from Ewan in particular, I felt kind of during the qualifier was quite good. I think both of them definitely have delivered in their moments. So just because they're unknown doesn't mean that they're not going to step up here. It's just that test of LAN, right?
Yeah, agreed. Catty Jones comes from Saw Mist as well. A team that it's actually interesting looking at the philosophy of Saw Mist because the idea is to bring up and nurture talent in Portugal. So it makes sense that she's on that development project. Fast fight for long. First time we see this flashbang, brilliant from Yun, and Catty Jones finds the opener on Kelsey. It looks like there's going to be an extended fight here as well because Olya slipped into pit. Yeah,
and she's got players supporting around the edge of that smoke. They really want to fight this. That spam through the smoke does so much damage. Now Olya can capitalize. A huge double up, and she is not done yet. Opening kill goes the way of Portugal, but Olya denies them.
That's so scrappy, but it's really good contact being taken by Emily because she sets up Olya. It's a classic bait and switch. And D7 up to her lurking maneuvers. Keep your eye out for D7 all throughout this series because she'll try and find these little pockets of space, but Emily will cover for it. The bomb on Ida's back still waiting over at long. And that nade lands flush on D7.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. D7 trying to be a pain. This little boost up from Emmy I think is going to catch her off guard. Yeah, not anticipating that newish angle. I think the problem with taking all that space is that Ida wasn't able to do anything simultaneously because Long was locked out. She's getting to stick through the doors. 3 dings through the door with the FAMAS. Yeah, and she's getting hyped. Let's go.
This is going to be a very loud game on the stage, by the way, because as soon as USA will win a round, Mads will get super hype. When Portugal win a round, like, they will just start screaming. Like, this is a very good game of Counter-Strike.
Mads got a massive US flag on her chair as well.
And on her head.
Has the headband as well. That is one of the fun parts of this event is all that national pride. Zana takes the long peek and she's patient.
What?
She expects that second swing.
And she gets it. And now Cassie Jones at the same time. This is a bit more of a default now from Portugal because you've got the long space. Now you're investigating tunnels.
Yeah, they're using the kind of meta smoke towards long doors as well that lands up on the raised bit so that it extinguishes the molly and gives you that edge to peek around.
And now they want to fight forward again, but it's Emmy, this time who gets a multi-kill. Long is consistently off limits for the T side.
Yeah, good position to be in there just to deal with that sort of flash play because the flash goes over the top. She's able to avoid it. Eats them alive as they enter.
And what's been the common reaction? Typically taken short. That's why Emily has almost like pre-fired a nade over there. She is solo. That's the dangerous bit. Emily is about to go into 3 of these players. Azana can get on the angle. Emily's now been spotted. Can she hold firm for Eddie? No, not quite. It's Ida with the trade instead. And they know that Emmy was out long, but Emmy is still delivering.
Yeah, that molly is also super disruptive. Caddy Jones has to delay putting down the bomb.
And now they can scale on the side of the box as well. She's got to be so careful that they don't ruin the plan.
She's going to commit to it, and they don't jump peek her. Zana is posted up in short, keep that in mind. They've already scaled. Caddy Jones, oh my god, Kelsey deletes her. Now it's a 1v3 for Zana. First kill is hers, and remember, the bomb is planted for her position. The last bit of utility goes out for the CTs. Sentry in her face, but that doesn't matter at all for Zana. More than happy to take that fight, and she'll find the final frag, all 3 for Zana.
And that is why you don't test her. That is why you don't give her these fights. It was a 3 versus 1, and Team USA peak her 1 by 1 by 1. You can't do that against an AWPer. You've got the utility. Throw the incendiary a little bit deeper, throw the flashbang a little bit closer, and swing together. That could have played out so many different ways. Instead, they give Zana the 1 out that she needs.
Yeah, and for all the props of USA's retakes earlier, that one is very disjointed. You can tell they were kind of written off the round at that point. They thought, yeah, we've got this. You know.
They also gave respect to get the bomb down in the first place because they could have scaled to try and deny it.
Still going to be a competitive buy into this round. A boost up towards the blue box. This time Portugal take the control in towards B. Haven't seen them in this avenue just yet. That's a beautiful HU.
Oya's been boosted as well, so you've got to be careful on that smoke fade. Yun instead resets, and for Portugal again, it's an escapade out towards short. And for Team USA, they've got the space, but now they need to react off it, especially with a lesser weaponry. You've got to take a risk, or you've got to move back to try and help Emmy.
I'm going to take this control. USA continuing the 2 players towards long. 2 on B as well. If this ends up being a B split, which I think is what they're going for, could actually be pretty tricky for them. But they get aggressive. Kelsey pushes forward. Flashbang kind of catches her as well. And Caddy Jones is able to punish.
That's brutal, but Emmy has at least found Ida. When you're scaling through this smoke, you've got to go up the right-hand side. She tries to push through. Yun gets the necessary trade, and now on site, all eyes were on Emilite. But Zana removes her and makes Team USA completely in the dark. 3 versus 2. Retake not happening because Zana hits another onto Mads, and Oya just needs to try and save.
Come now, Zana. What was that? Outrageous shot. Oya can pick up this M4 to save. You can see the ideas are there from the US, right? If that flash hadn't caught Kelsey as well, then, you know, you think there's definitely a potential to catch a frag. I think she still would have gone down, but...
Yeah.
And Emmy was always going to push that smoke.
I don't hate the idea of her pushing it, to be honest, but if Emily came up on window and they peeked together, that would have been way better. Instead, it's that slight just disjointment from Team USA. So there's a blip on the radar for Team Portugal, but apart from that, it's been spotless. 4 rounds, plays 1. Money, not in a great situation now, so Portugal can look to build on this lead.
That was nice and decisive from Portugal too on the split there. It didn't feel like any of it was disjointed. They you know, were in a decent packs, good trades as well as they entered.
They also set up the short play as well, so they're still conditioning that they were technically there, and then they reset and did something different.
Yeah, it wasn't one-dimensional. This one maybe is a little one-dimensional. You do see the long play from Yun. She'll get out towards blue, and the pistols push forward. 5-7. Oh, actually, looks like it's going to win this fight. And Kelsey actually got a kill in towards short. So there is actually an advantage here. And 3 CTs out long. Oh dear, the recovered rifle's doing the work. Zana gets destroyed. Mad deeks them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but you've got real proactivity out of Team USA, because not only have you got the 5-7 consistently being a nuisance in long, you've got Emily that push lower tunnels, scales up towards short, and then the players in short are still hitting headshots anyway. Good network from Team USA. And now this puts the money in an interesting position for both teams, because both of them are still on a nice edge, and you're going to get the force back.
That's crazy.
And a rush B, potentially.
Yeah, I think Portugal felt pressure just to really push short quickly there, thinking that they could take that space off the long part falling. But doesn't quite work out, and it will be this B push. Kelsey drops the smoke, and the spray will find one, runs out of bullets though, so Yun is able to get that trade. Now they can scale in. Recovered M4, Molotov will lock them out, so 3 rifles and a re-smoke available.
There's a lot of utility though. That's the thing for Team USA. There are 2 kits in play too. So this afterplant needs to be brilliant. It is tough though to get in.
Oh, that molly is so good. That was unrecovered from Ida. Now the re-smoke should be landing in doors. I thought maybe there was one, but no, it's gone towards the tunnels. HE does a bit of damage, but time is ticking down over the top. Zana somehow wins that fight, and Caddy Jones is taken 2 from back corner. Olia will find her kills, and maybe there is still a chance, but Ida from window make sure that she can't get any further damage done.
Great work from Catty Jones and Ida, because it's Catty Jones that actually takes the contact. That means Ida's then the unknown element. You think another player's going to push from Team USA through the doorway. Instead, it's Ida that takes the space. Once they understand that Olya's out from tunnels, they create a different crossfire in the middle of that afterplant. Team USA, they have got money, but again, they are on thin ice. An AWP for Emily.
First time I've seen it.
And not one for Zana.
Posted middle with it. Are you going to be expecting this? Well, now you know it's there. You can see an immediate change to the way they're approaching middle after that ult fires off. A reset to re-smoke the doors. A push now comes through, so Kelsey's going on information gathering mission, but Caddy Jones is holding for it. Will be traded by Emmy, so at least that is only the SMG you lose. Long has been tricky for them to get through, and that smoke makes it harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you look for an outlet, and then the outlet again has always been short. But Emily is already posted on the angle to try and deal with D7. 1 minute left, here comes the utility, but there's the kill. And now suddenly this becomes very one-dimensional. It almost just feels like as soon as you lose that little bit of control, even though Catty Jones was holding towards this B push, Portugal just gets suffocated and there's nowhere to move. Emily now just on the angle, but the smoke off, a deep molly as well will upset the MP9. Portugal look to scale again, mid to B. This is fast and there's only Emmy there.
That pushes through the smoke, but the MP9 at range is a little tricky. They spot a player over the back too. This all relies on Emmy, and she's done well so far. Finds 1 kill, a flash forward just so she can try and hold on and delay. Can't convert a second. But the CTs are here quickly. Ida expecting a push, and in fact, Jung gets up on an active position too. Now the bomb starts to go down. You're holding for this push. Spots the barrel, has to adjust backwards, and it's all onto Emily. She can't get it done. Ida spams her out.
Yeah, I really like that, actually, from Portugal. It could get a little bit dicey between Yun and Ida on which one's planting the bomb, which one's holding the angle, but they actually just take their time. With 23 seconds left, they don't need to rush.
They made a point on the desk kind of talking about the mid-rounding and how the Team USA's play style being so aggressive and all the right that we see on the T side means that they don't really have to think too much kind of about the mid-rounding, right? It's all pretty straightforward for them. And that's going to work against a lot of teams that don't have a strong mid-round. Yeah. But I think Portugal is going to be one of those exceptions that is going to have a pretty good mid-round.
I mean, look at what there's almost like a mental mini-map being drawn up in Ida's head during that round in the disadvantage. Okay, they've pushed tunnels, they've got control over towards long, they've just re-smoked it. What's the gap going to be? Emily fired off a shot in towards middle, now she's rotated over towards ramp. That means that mid is the gap. Immediately mid to B, they take the space, and you expect that push, you've already seen it. Once from Emmy, you got it out of Mads. It was so easy to isolate those fights. But you got to give a lot of praise there to Ida because that mental image, that being brought up, was all on her.
Yeah, for all the experience of Emily, obviously, she's been calling in the NA region for a minute now, but Ida's been doing it at the top level of the women's scene now for a bit.
So I'm just giggling because, like, 9 times out of 10, the player will just fall back and they won't re-peak. But Zana will always re-peak. And to be honest, I'd rather that because I want that confidence out of Zana.
Absolutely.
As much as that is a counterintuitive thing to say, re-peaking long with nothing, but hey.
Surprise actually thus far that it's been Caddy Jones that's been doing a lot of the work here. Oh, this double up with the pistols. I was going to say D7 has been a little quiet, but she's able to get a kill here. And
she hasn't really been needed, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's true. Her little plays in short have been caught out a couple of times, and she's going to get caught out this time too.
I don't think Mads is aware that Zana's scaled this far.
Yeah, Zana's got this. So shouldn't expect too much more from this round, and we might be able to scavenge a weapon. It might not be allowed either.
Yeah, T sides are always going to be what make or break this series. The T sides from Team Portugal are very good. Again, Desk highlighted that against Team Hong Kong. Like, they were dominant on T sides. And I also think as well that they picked Vertigo because I know that they've been doing their homework. I know that they've been studying ahead of this event, and they know that Team Hong Kong, when we saw them in the qualifiers, they did play Vertigo quite a lot. I think they actively tried to sort of counter-pick them, and it worked. I expect the map pool, to be honest, of Portugal to be Ancient, Dust 2, Mirage, Anubis. Like, those 4.
The classics. An aggressive push down bottom middle. You can see Emmy has managed to get into lowers.
It's not going to work if they execute B right now.
Yeah, they're going straight in. There are 2 players here, including the AWP. Emily able to find a shot. There's no smoke on doors. She gets an open line just to take them down one by one. Finally, the smoke lands, but the damage is done. Unless Zana can bring something back, but she's spammed through that smoke. Wide swing from Caddy Jones does not connect, and Zana, surely no chance.
Yeah, well played from Team USA. Especially from Kelsey, because she just hid. She let Emily take the contact not once, but twice. And the fact that Kelsey even gets 2 kills there is more than enough. Good hold there on B. It felt like Portugal, they're trying to add variety. They're trying to add a little bit of a faster change of pace in the round. But they went a little bit before their utility. They were trying to catch USA unawares.
Yeah, luckily for them, the AWP was lying in wait. 2 players there and 1 lower. It's about the worst time to go into B.
Which about the hero AK from Zana?
Okay, yeah, I mean, if there was ever a play you wanted, and she's got the money to do it, why not? You see Caddy Jones has kept extra money for the future AWP anyway. And there's only 1 more round left after this, so makes perfect sense. Can she connect anything with it? Emily is trying to remove all her teammates, so it won't matter. Zana will finally find that frag. And another one. Finally done.
It's getting dicey.
AK gets recovered, and it's all good.
I think Emily played that really well. Target selection there. When you see 3 players burst out short, she just ignores the player far left, and she covers the one on the far right that is scaling in towards the site. So it means that the rest of her team have got a couple of extra seconds to rotate and react. Takes a lot of pressure off the long player.
Yeah, also fortunately, the player that was kind of still deep in short was the AK, so she had some easier fights onto the pistol players. There's that AWP. Give him back to Zana, who is 15-7 right now.
Yeah, not bad.
Although Emmy has been actually, you know, kind of chugging along there. 13 kills of her own.
This one is the classic Dust 2 default. I think this is the first time I've actually seen a proper default out of Team Portugal. Spacing towards tunnels, holding for long aggression. Now they're going to work in towards short. Short has always been a consistent source of strength for them.
Yeah, this is why I don't love Dust 2. It's just how much short becomes the play.
It's actually interesting though, because the meta has been really evolving into CT's been a lot more proactive and sort of fighting for top middle a lot more, and that nullifies short, but that hasn't happened here.
Well, we've got the blow on the smoke in middle, but the cross is already there. The bomb is committed. This split is definitely going to be the play. Emmy able to get a kill on Caddy Jones on the edge of that smoke. Zana will slide through, but she can't really get active. It's going to rely on these players in middle, and they're getting picked apart. Oh, Emmy, heads up play onto Zana. She's looking sharp right now, and USA looking to take away a fifth at the end, unless D7 can do something, but feels like her lurk has come a little too late. 30 seconds left. Very difficult for her to even give this one a look in. By the time she gets to middle, the clock will have ticked far too long, and yeah, you can write this one off. USA will take the half with 5 rounds on the CT side, and you said this would be defined by those 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Do you feel like 7's enough?
Yeah, I'd say so, to be honest. I think 7 feels really good, especially when the only one really shooting back for Team USA at the moment is Emmy. You could argue that that's the same case for Team Portugal, but I think Hattie Jones had some really important rounds. I think D7 has been good in a number of occasions, but I think with that round in particular, D7's lurk was way too late, and that's because you get stuck in towards mid if you're Team Portugal. You feel like you got to go. Do we stay? Zana's already pushed through tunnels. Emmy's killed one of our players. It felt really uncomfy, and that was really well done by Team USA. The fact they're able to resurge it a little bit towards the end. If they take the pistol, they've definitely got the momentum.
I'm glad to see this being so competitive, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I've been pleasantly surprised by quite a few players on Team USA, I'm going to be honest. Really surprised, but happy to see Emily playing to this level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Olya's been brilliant as well. In fact, the one surprise is I expected Mads to be doing a lot more.
Portugal onto that CT side, Ida, Smoke, and Flash. So no kids. We do have Mads with a set of utility. It's been passed over. They want to take long control, and they will assert that pretty quickly.
This is the thing, though. Especially in pistol rounds, like Portugal won't care that you've taken long control because they can immediately just rescale. Unit is now waiting patiently. There's still a lot of utility here on Mads' shoulders. She can smoke for the cross and flash her team forward. Portugal haven't reacted. They now start with a push through top tunnels. This is being accounted for by Emmy. That's why there's this delay on long. They're waiting to see if Emmy can find contact. But where she's playing so passive, she's not going to see them cross.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I feel like that's not a push you'd commonly see. I could be wrong, but it does feel a bit unordinary to push out into backyard. So D7 will hold this. They've just kind of restructured their defensive setup, but they're still accounting for any possibility.
But what it does mean is that Ida can now come over. She can get ready to drop this smoke as a bit of a block. Emmy starts pushing towards tunnels. Let's see how this goes against D7. Waiting patiently. Kill secured. And now this will force the USA into going long.
Zana is able to find one, but she's removed immediately. Defensive smoke deployed, and the flashbang over the top. Portugal want to fight this. They don't have the kid. They want to try and take them all down just by pure firepower. Ewan's looking for this headshot. D7 actually gets good, so she has to fall back. Mads does remove Ewan. So they're winning out these Angels, at least for a moment, until Caddy Jones and Ida step in.
Yeah, honestly, that was quite scary, really, because you got USA that were disrespecting the utility. I thought they were going to swarm site a lot more, but the rotations from Team Portugal came in. As soon as Emmy was dealt with, it's D7 that pushes forward with Catty Jones. They take all the space back in towards short, and between the two of them, they're able to get the kills. They stop the progression immediately. And it feels like that's a crucial round for Team Portugal to win, because Team USA were building up momentum there. I think it's so important, especially just on the stage, and now D7 looks to shut them down immediately.
They're so ready for this, though.
Are they?
Yes. They had a flashbang. So, a kill and some damage. You would have loved to double up there to feel like you got your money's worth out of that. These Famises in a good position. That's a double drop down, but that's fully accounted for. Mads, nice kill onto Ida. Certainly making it a little bit more costly than they would have liked, but I think Portugal more than happy from the sounds of it.
Yeah, that was cool, actually. Zana's holding the deep line in towards mid, and Ida's still covering CT. So they're offering up support, even though they're not completely tunnel visioned on Mads, who dropped down. They know it's Glocks at that point, and as soon as you see the bomb, you're just be like, okay, well, like, what are we doing here? I think that's a nice idea from the USA, though, the fact that the smoke is dropped just on the lip of short. Because if you were able to drop and kill the player in towards CT, that can maybe spiral a knee-jerk reaction out of Portugal. Instead, it doesn't happen. They're able to clean up the eco. And now look at D7. She's already pushing in towards B. She can hear all the utility. The rotations can start to come in. Catty Jones needs to live. And she's done one better than that. She's got the kill.
D7's actually the one that goes down on the push, but Catty Jones able to get the double up. Kelsey has found kills back. Zana not quite able to find one through the window. Flames will now block them off. So USA have got great space. Olia is relatively low. And they're all going to be retaking from CT. A re-smoke makes this tricky. You would love HE to throw into that corner. In fact, the smoke does hit Olia. Forces her out of that corner. They just want to isolate that position.
Or a flash, right? Oh yeah, actually gets a kill, and now you've set this up in the 1 versus 2. Well played by Emmy and Kelsey, but that's all on Oya, low HP, taking the brunt of the contact.
Catty Jones does everything and more there too, right? Getting the double kill. I think D7 maybe goes a little bit too fast, I think.
Yeah.
Because Catty Jones is so isolated on B, there's this need, this sense of urgency to try and support her. That's a brutal one, actually. Look at the money.
Yeah, that's horrible. That allows you back in the game because you lose this. Catty Jones obviously saving for the AWP. But you get over this. It's completely fine. Zana hits a shot, though. But between Oya and Mads, they've cleaned up long. It's a 4 versus 2. It should still be okay. I hear them shouting and the round's
so
still
loud.
live. The round's still live, guys.
I don't know if the microphones pick it up, but they are vocal.
There's a lot of noise going on in the arena right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, so maybe it's good the mics don't pick it up. 7. Yeah,
NT.
That one with the Deagle's a little ambitious.
I don't know what they're going to do about this buy because everyone forced apart from Catty Jones, and it's going to be has to be an eco. There's no way.
She could get a hero rifle and she'll still be able to buy the next round.
I suppose so.
You definitely want to be prioritizing that AWP on Zana, given how dominant she was on that T side.
How's that not a headshot, by the way?
There's a wall in the way.
Fair enough.
D7 lives in that armor as well, like that feels decent. Oh, yeah. You want to buy an AK here, even if you don't want to use it. Sorry, not AK, an M4. Even if you don't want to use it with armor, you get to throw it to D7. Come on, you got 6.5k.
Definitely wants the AWP.
Yeah, but you can get it anyway if you just dropped an M4. Okay, I don't know.
I'm trying to work out the maths, but I can't.
No, there's definitely enough money to drop an M4 there. 2.7. Would have had a full buy next anyway.
Oh well, they didn't do it. It's interesting that consistently Team USA have got this player just lurking outside of the B doors. They're anticipating this push. Finally, Kelsey's going to be rewarded with it, but gets dinked in the process. 1 for 1. That's beneficial. Now D7 can get the rifle. She's got armor.
Unfortunately, D7 is actually on the A bomb site.
Unlucky.
So it won't be recovered by her, but maybe, oh no, flames at her back mean that she can't do anything too cheeky.
Great molly.
Anticipating that play. Thorough, which is good. I think crossing some of those T's has been a criticism of Team USA, but this T side's been looking very good thus far. So 1-round game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they definitely learnt lessons from earlier's game because they are taking their time, they're being a lot more disciplined, and they're not sort of getting these silly mistakes that we did see against the Netherlands. Mads described it as setting the standard on socials. They're trying to go back to back, they're trying to top this group. This is a good step in the right direction. This is a 1-round game now between these two teams.
It would certainly humble us, you know.
True, it humbled me.
Yeah, it would humble you. I will remain unhumbled.
That's fine.
I'm a Mads believer. All right, let's see this AWP that's been saved up for 5 rounds in a row, it felt like.
Surprised we didn't see a timeout here, actually, because this is a really big break point in the game. Look at this fast play out of Oya. Flashbang's unaffecting her. She finds the opening kill on Ida.
Yeah, she's a little dazed, but it didn't matter. Nice kill back from D7, just pre-firing that position. In the back of the smoke, nowhere for her to go. D7, it's got to be said, has had a very quiet map so far. Hype Drop is one of the heavy hitters for this team.
It's been a minute since she's been at a LAN.
It's true.
She's the woman in focus right now. Tucking in at Gandalf. Yun can take first contact here on towards short. But Team USA, they're just scaling. Spam's good on Kelsey. She's incredibly low.
That's great spam. Even a defensive smoke thrown on the side is a little discombobulating. Kelsey anticipates someone might be in there. Going for the sound cue. Molly's great on the D7, but she's a little bit greater. And now Kelsey, what can she achieve? Oh, she dropped. Oh, D7 just walks through. Oh my goodness, she almost gets the long kill as well. Kelsey will at least get something back, but it all falls down to Emmy. Dinked from D7, and Zana finishes the job.
Yeah, there you go. Speak about D7 being quiet. She plays it perfectly. I think she even heard. She might not have heard the drop on towards site, but she's still taking the space. That defensive smoke is covering. Able to eliminate the long play. The last thing Team USA expected was for D7 to push and go around the corner. The fact that she nearly gets all of them is ridiculous.
You can almost like feel the cringe, you know, when Kelsey drops there. You know, you have that moment where you're like, oh no.
The condensation.
I hope we get to cast the Australians on the stream.
This is fast. Look at this. Catty Jones tested again, but passes it with flying colours. Look at that. Even a third for Catty Jones. Team USA are locked out of B.
Okay, she's kind of goated.
Yeah,
like,
she's very good. We didn't really see it too much in the qualifiers, but she works hard. Very good work ethic on Catty Jones. And it shows the team trust her a lot, because they're putting her a lot in these solo anchor positions.
Yeah, well, when she can pull out that, you would. They've got the bomb, so that's why they've locked down B. Mads does catch a like timing, but difficult position to be in for Team US.
How can you get the bomb? Like,
yeah.
That's the thing here. If anything, you're just saving.
Yeah, it kind of hurts to save it with the money. I mean, Mads can drop another player.
It's a 4 versus 2. You're locked out the site. All you're hoping is that there's an A player here who isn't looking at short. And there is an A player. She's just in CT.
Yeah, you got to save. If you lose these players, you're kind of screwed into the next round. At least you can invest something.
Yeah, because if you save this, not only you bring over an AWP and AK, Mads can drop an AK.
Yeah.
Emmy can then buy. It would look okay. I think Emily would be able to drop it as well.
Well, a Mac 10.
Yeah, it's something. Better than nothing. What a change of pace. It was the change of pace that was really trying to catch Team Portugal off guard, but it's the counter utility over the top. I also think they were team flashes as well at the mouth of B
That's
main
a little rough.
for Team USA.
Yeah, because Katie Jones was, I mean, she did well to hold those different players and take some different fights, but she was still fairly in the open there.
What's interesting as well is that we've seen actually on both instances in these T halves, both teams have gone to try and flip the pace and go for a B play, and both times have just been shut down, like instantly. She has dropped that Mac 10.
Yeah, it's not too bad a bite. Emily needs to get value out of this sniper. Aggression into short. CT is pushed forward. Zana boosts it up and over the top removes Mads early.
And the good disengage as well, because they know that there's going to be players probably pushing in from top mid. You can't see because of the doors smoke. So Ida's now left to try and hold it, and Zana's moved back on the angle. So again, it's this contact play. I think Ida's overextending a little bit here, but it's D7 that finds Kelsey and Emmy. Team Portugal have made USA suffer.
D7 one-tapped, I think, Emily through the smoke in towards short, and then found 2 more follow-up kills afterwards. Long-range engagements. Portugal find map point.
They find map point, and that was against the force buy. And of course, this is going to be another force buy, but check out what Team USA are going to bring into this round. It's going to be troublesome for them. I don't even think there's going to be a single rifle.
Nope. We got 3 Mac 10s.
Not ideal.
Not ideal at all. Might just be a fast short play. It does look like that's where they're intending to go.
This is quite clever, actually, taking a long space early for Team Portugal. And now they want to continue to fight this, but I think they've been overwhelmed by the pace.
Yeah, not expecting them to be that close. Sana does get removed. Ida, oh! Emmy hits a shot, knocks her down, and, well, it might not have been the best buy, but they've made it work.
Yeah, they have. Portugal completely overwhelmed by the pace, up short. Wasn't anticipating the acceleration. I thought the long play was good because it means they could adjust, but Emmy with this recovered orb has found Yun. They're still going to give this retake a go. Emmy full blind, should be dealt with momentarily, but she tucks in round the side. Emmy has now jumped over. What is happening in this round? Catty Jones versus the whole USA squad, and it is not happening. They stay alive for at least one more.
Yeah, not a bad round. A bit of pace. You can see they were setting up to go for another short aggro play on the CT side, but the Mac 10s were already up there. Zana had nowhere to go, and her teammate had already kind of fallen off, so wasn't there to provide that immediate support. So they get caught by the pace this time. Didn't work in towards B, but short was successful.
It's interesting actually looking at this game because we spoke about the potential of Emmy popping off, but it has come at a cost. It's come at the cost of Emily also dropping off in form. Fast play out towards long. Flashbangs will at least get Olya to blue bin.
Yeah, and she's been great when it comes to playing long on both sides of the server. Again, we've got this short aggression flash forward. Kelsey will dodge it, but a second goes forward. Zana again caught off guard. 2 rounds now that they've been a little bit closer than anticipated.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're not just dropping this smoke here. Instead, they're flashing. They're really trying to be proactive and take this space. D7's now moved into a line in towards the mid doors. Catty Jones also hunted by Emmy. That was the fight finally they were looking for, but it's D7 that finds one. At least there are trades, and there are plenty for Team USA. It's Yun versus 4, and the bomb momentarily should make its way to B.
Where do these mid players keep coming from?
I don't know. They just keep arriving.
They just keep seeing all of these Portuguese players pop up.
They have to eco now.
Knocking them down like whack-a-moles, and yeah, we are looking like we're going to go all 24 rounds. USA were on the back foot. Looked like they were about to get sent packing on Dust 2, but that fast play up short has given them a breath of life.
It's interesting because again, it's these rounds where they're fighting short. It feels a little bit touch and go for Team Portugal. It feels like they've already just sort of secured the map control when they haven't. It's sort of like half-ass clears here, the same utility set there. It's really readable, and I think USA, they've adjusted perfectly to it.
Pause comes now, but this won't be the buy round from Portugal, but it is the moment just to take a breather.
Yeah, get HS on the mic as well. He's the coach for Rhino's men's team, so he'll definitely be noticing these issues and is looking to plug the gaps so it doesn't go OT.
They'll have the ult most likely, I think. 2400 loss, yep. Be able to pull that out. And this round, they're just going to push up top middle, see what they can get done. Kelsey is anticipating this. There's actually Olia by her side. Sana will get one frag, but they deal with the aggression. We go to the final round of regulation.
Yeah, let's see what the variation is for Team Portugal, but also for Team USA, because they've been pushing this short issue consistently. When they've been able to try and fight long, I think the USA have won out the majority of these rounds as well. It's been Portugal being reactive in the mid rounds rather than getting these early kills.
What side does Spawn look like? She's playing the supporter for this long play. It's going to be the Rifles to take first point. We do see that cross to Blue Bins again, but the Molotov did tick, and so she had to drop that smoke. HE goes forward, a lot of damage. Well, actually, a bit less than I thought it would be, to be fair. Somehow, Mads is still standing, but not for long.
They put themselves into a corner a little bit there, not only literally with Mads over at Blue Bin, but now you're allowing Team Portugal to kind of get settled a bit more into the round. D7 just poking holes in the smoke, trying to dissuade Team USA from scaling short. There's actually been no reaction. Portugal playing very passive. They're letting Zana take lead on short.
Yeah, I guess the idea is tucked in towards Goose as well, so a nice little bait and switch. You might not be anticipating her position when the AWP takes first contact here. And then you've still got Yun out long, so if this ends up being the A play, this feels like a fantastic setup for Portugal.
And Portugal have not pushed upper tunnels, and that is something that I think that Team USA were expecting. In this round, they're expecting sort of that reaction. Maybe mid to B could still be a good motive here for Team USA.
There goes that smoke. Zana holding the edge, and Kelsey just walks straight into her crosshair. Easy pickings for the Portuguese sniper.
But now you've identified where this AWP is, so you can go mid to B. So it relies on D7, it relies on Catty Jones. And Catty Jones has been incredibly reliable over at B.
Now these A plays are very separated, but there's no mid to B smoke. So Zana has a free line of sight, and she will take that every day. D7 gets up on over, and Emily has an impossible task, and she won't be able to do it. Portugal are pushed to the limit, but they take their map pick of Dust 2, 13-11.
That was a really good reaction there by Team Portugal. The fact that they don't push up a tunnel, the fact that they just completely take long control, they let Zana just sit back, take that space on towards short. All Team USA wanted was the fight, and they never got it.
Yeah, it's a real shame, right? I feel like Team USA actually really surprised us here on Dust 2 in a way I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought this was going to be a bit more one-sided for Portugal, which that gets me excited for the rest of this series, given we have their map pick coming up next. And it feels like that was, even though it was a loss, I actually think that was the best looking Team USA in some ways.
No, I completely agree with you. It feels like they did adjust. It feels like they learned a lot from their previous match against the Netherlands. And they mean business. I think the Dust 2, it was always supposed to go Team Portugal's way. Now you've got to fight on Anubis. The issue is, I think Anubis is also a very good Team Portugal map.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, we've heard enough waffling from us. Let's go hear what the devs have to say about that one.
Finally, guys, got the close affair we've been waiting for here today. 13-11. Portugal reigned supreme. B-Dog was right on that one. Yeah, punchy game. Felt like it was going to be overtime in the end, but that last round, no mid-B smoke, all reigned supreme, and Zana had a hell of a map.
Yeah, no, she definitely did. And again, a lot of the things that we kind of thought were needed to be true for Portugal to win did happen. Zana just kind of showing the way, being the leader on the server in terms of fragging in a big way. Also clutching out a massive 1v3 early on in the first half that kind of set the path for Portugal to get a lot of rounds in a row. But you got to give credit for the US for sticking in there. Like again, fighting back to 5-7 half, and then obviously getting off to a better start in the second half and being able to go toe-to-toe to Portugal on their map pick. That was closer than I would have expected for Dust 2, honestly, which, yeah, bodes well for Anubis.
Yeah, interestingly, I don't think USA went crazy aggressive on this map either. I think they were mostly pretty contained. Sometimes you'd see Emmy pushing into tunnels, but that's just how Emmy plays anyway. And you got to see finally what we were talking about with Emmy potentially being the real standout and star of this USA team. I think she had a great map. It's just a shame it came at the same time as a couple of off maps from some of the teammates. I think we discussed the Emily point, her up against Zana. Clear orb difference there, which clearly did have a big impact on this map. But we also just saw in some of those rounds, the nades not really denying Zana. Even in that last round there, you see they don't quite have that mid-B smoke remaining. Allows for some easy pickings. I think that was kind of the story on a lot of this map early on. It weirdly felt like once we got to CT side, I think Zana maybe slowed down a little bit, which was a bit surprising. You'd expect she'd have been able to keep it up. But I think that's because USA were going for some of those faster plays early on in the half that were working. So that actually worked nicely for USA, but it did feel maybe a little one note at some points, and eventually Portugal able to come out on top.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a neat way to wrap up the entire game, just seeing what happened in that last round. They try to get control out towards long. They do get a person out there. They've done so successfully on multiple occasions, but then just not necessarily following up on it, having one, like a singular flash for Mads to work off of. Still going to be a difficult situation for her to kind of get anything from, so you're kind of just donating a player there. You stood around, not done a whole lot, so you don't necessarily maintain map control in this scenario, and that also, you know, stops your tempo. That's what they kind of benefited from when they got out long earlier. That's where they had success, when they went quickly up towards Cat. Both Lucian and VDog mentioned on multiple occasions that the US would find themselves closer or further up on Catwalk than the Portuguese team might have expected. And that last round, that just didn't happen. And then obviously, you know, missed utility or not having the right utility at the right time, obviously like rounds off the picture of the game like in a nice way when you see the failed B or mid to B smoke. Leading in just like a feast for Zana standing up on that A-bomb side controlling mid.
Yeah, and obviously in the earlier rounds, that's not as much of a problem because you're going to such fast rounds that you're going to have all the utility you need.
Yep.
You're going to be absolutely fine. But as you pointed out also, I think the high risk of playing with these scenarios where they are relying quite a lot on maybe just one flash, all it takes is for the opponent to know that, be playing anti-flash, or just playing a position where they're not really blinded, and you're kind of in trouble. And if it's only one player going out, then suddenly it's a really high-risk position. You can quickly go down a player, and then from there, always hard to fight back. Having said that, a lot of good things to the USA to take away from this, and I think the fact that some of those fast plays did work early here on Dust 2 suggests that on Anubis, they've probably got chances. I will say on the Portugal side, though, Caddy Jones came in, and she was the player I didn't really know too much about, to be fair. I think, you know, fair play to her. She came in, and she was great, and she was clearly an important part of why they got that map.
Yeah, honestly, again, obviously, Zena's going to be the one who ends up with the most frags, but if we're talking about impact in stages of the game where it was getting close, you'd often see Caddy Jones finding a double kill when it's needed. Like when you have the round and its balance, like US are in position to potentially like either stop a plant from happening or being successful with a retake or just kind of stemming the tide, then Caddy Jones would find something that actually allowed for Portugal to progress forward on the map. So she had a massive game, and that's great to see again. Like one of the unknowns for us, more or less compared to at least her teammates. So seeing her step up is obviously like a massive positive for Portugal going into not just the series, but obviously like further into the tournament.
I think the player that's impressed me the most for the USA is Olya. She's the one where maybe we had the least info coming into this. It feels like she's playing anchor spots and not necessarily the easiest positions to get big numbers, and she's consistently performing. That is got to be a huge thing to lean on for this team.
Oh, absolutely.
When people thought she might be a liability coming into this, she's looked brilliant.
Yeah, no, she's been fantastic. And again, she was basically the ride or die to Emmy and on Dust 2 as well. Again, putting in her part, doing her job. Her having that good of a map, again, going into Anubis, which she was stellar in the first series, that, again, bodes well for the US. I'm feeling like a 3-mapper, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think so too. I hope they're not disheartened by that map because they should take the positives from it. And again, you just hope that, I think even in general, you shouldn't see the AWP matter as much on Anubis anyway, so that should already help them. But then I think, you know, Kelsey maybe had a bit of an off game, a couple of occasions where there were fights she probably should have won or got a bit more out of. And I'm not expecting that to continue. I think in general, they are a pretty well-rounded squad. So yeah, good signs for the US. And I think, you know, still huge credit to Portugal. It felt like a bit of a grind, to be honest, for them to get through. But those are the maps you have to win sometimes. You have to be able to just grind through your map pick. It's not always going to be plain sailing. So
Exactly.
I think they deserve props for that too.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was their opponent's pick. USA still got 11 rounds. Now they're playing Anubis, which obviously they looked very comfortable on earlier today. So expectations for Anubis. Will there be madcap CT aggression again? Surely. It's got to be.
Surely, yeah. And apparently, yeah, if what B-Dog was saying is true, then Portugal has something to the same extent on their CT sides as well. So, yeah, I think you're going to get that bloodbath that you wanted.
So.
Yeah, it's got to be complete chaos, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, ready for war. Both teams look like they're ready for it as well. So, yeah, absolutely. And again, just so good to see if Emmy's playing at that level. She's often just going to be leading the charge and calling for those plays for herself. So I think that's a really great sign for the US coming into this map, because she wasn't really fully there on those opening maps in that first series. So that just even gives them more opportunities. I wouldn't be surprised if she's just calling for rounds all over, because she can probably come away from that game a little frustrated. She did enough to win that one for her team. So maybe that will make her force it a bit too much. Hopefully not. But
We'll see.
We'll see.
You would think that Portugal would have had a little bit of time to watch Anubis, and they would have known it would be in this series. They don't perma it. USA picked it in their first game. They looked good. It was very likely that Anubis was coming up again. So having watched that first game, is there ways that Portugal could adapt? Can they expect the aggression? I mean, Olia pushed A every single round on that CT side. Surely you send numbers there to deal with that.
I mean, yeah. Or you could decide to kind of just like ignore it entirely in terms of like not actually giving her the opportunity. You can, you know, put someone up on useless, like have them hang out, or post an op on stairs and just like hang out while the rest of the team works otherwise or elsewhere. As for the aggression that we saw coming up from the other side, like Emmy in particular, I think it's going to be more difficult to kind of constantly progress towards that site and expect to be pop flashed. If you're Portugal, you're going to have to take some risks. You're going to have to look towards the site at some point. And I think it's not like a set timing, like, oh, at 40 seconds we're going to do this every single time. So sure, you can kind of stem, or you can have certain expectations in terms of, at least for the first, I'd say, 25 seconds of the round when it comes to Team USA. But if nothing happens from that point on, then I'd probably get a little bit like worried. I might start overthinking if I'm Portugal, because like nothing's happened. This is not normal. What's going on? So it remains to be seen how they actually deal with that.
Well, hopefully they have something. Hopefully they've had some plans how to deal with that. As you said, Anubis to follow next. Quick break for us. When we're back with Brandon and Lucy to take you through second map in this series. We'll see if Portugal can get this done in 2. We'll see you then.
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head.
Decide to go for the run. Just the fire. Just the fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, please all rise for the national anthem of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
To extend my thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for hosting this incredible event, and also over 500 of our fantastic esports players that have been bringing us non-stop action. But Bara, I don't know about you, the action over on the CS stage has been impeccable. 2 of our series have closed out in a 2-0 fashion, and our third is still underway. How have things been looking for you over at PUBG?
Jasmine, 16 teams competing it out all right here for the World Esports Championship 24, right here for the IESF in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We've seen a lot of teams. Some had, a rough start, but then they were pretty much battling out with victory at the very end of the day.
One thing is for certain, the pressure is certainly only going to continue to rise throughout this tournament. But speaking of pressure, these players and these teams have had an abundance of it, especially during last year's tournament. So let's go ahead and revisit exactly what happened there.
Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. What a crazy and incredible opening that was. That is one hell of a way to kick off our World Championship. Thank you again for joining us for the 15th World Esports Championship here in Yash.
The jumping. Oh, God. Everything is so scary right now. Akuma can do so much damage with one hit just like this. Demon. Oh, my God. Suns. Look at the life bar. It's gone. Tries to focus. Engage full life. Oh, it's over. It is done. Octopus Pakistan wins IESF 50 World Esports Championship. And that money back there. With the lead. The lead is back up. Gets forward here. Musiala's broken the line. Musiala! Paran are going to have a new world champion. Iran is the champion. Yeah, he's got to keep on fighting, but no, he's going low. He doesn't have BKB, can force up himself away. Yes, but the middle is getting all the damage. He has engagement. And if he kills him, no more peace left for 1 minute. Champion comes down. Arena coming in. Dr. Duke can't get step through. Can they jump in? Second lane gets a get wrong coming in onto the Nebo. But no, they go ahead and damage. Can't going down. Sanctuary, he's a beast. And it's a big damage. Bitmas is down. Run. Oh, you get them all. It's a 1v5 and Mongolia, the Grand Champions and your 2023 Dota 2 World Esports Champions. Tech9, CTR on the other side. Can you do it again? Trying to get a spray. It's a triple. Yeah, I guess. There we go. Through the smoke in the middle. Chiquito, and it's a triple. He's taking all of them down. And they can't even punish him on the other side. They have to wait it out. They might try and come through again. Chiquito almost finishing with an ace. Unbelievable. It's down to Hype. And he's going to get shot in the back, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Sweden. Placed on, takes out Chorizo, and it's a ball being used in the middle area. It's Philippines right now, Arjun Hill takes it over to a ball, falls down. Has to end the series here. Cyclone starting to fight Super Kid coming down low. Cannon takes out one. So he's trying to hold it upon. Siphon will get the out of the now in. The base is too open. Now Philippines is now taking the base of Indonesia. Philippines are your 15th IESF MLPP World Champions. But as good possible. There's almost no smoke, almost no nades. Maybe some free fly shots coming out from Juro, but not even that is happening, and they are out of it.
Risks there, gets down from the rock. Now, Fraga looking to make a move towards Kyrgyzstan. Instantly taken out, though that's two from Argentina. Now a 2v2, can Kyrgyzstan do it?
What just happened? Argentina just got wiped out of this map, and now Zoli to fake, maybe finds another one. They will fight this round. It is the third chicken dinner.
Kyrgyzstan, they were dominant throughout the whole event. They were untouchable.
Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Australia, Bahrain, Belarus, Brazil, Bulgaria, Cambodia, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Egypt, France, Germany, Greece, Guam, Guatemala, Hong Kong, Hungary, Indonesia, Iran, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, Kyrgyzstan, Latvia, Malaysia, Mongolia, Morocco, Myanmar, Nepal, Netherlands, Norway, Pakistan, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Serbia, Slovakia, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United States, Uzbekistan, Venezuela.
Introduce the IESF anthem. Okay, everybody, this is how this is going to work. I heard you all cheering during that little segment, so can I please have some energy from the crowd? So 2023, we did it big, and for 2024, we did it even bigger with $1 million on the line. Are you gamers fond of that idea, $1 million? What do we think? Okay. So I'd like to welcome to the stage two very important people and speakers that will be joining us here today. Our first guest is none other than Turki Al Fozan, CEO of the Saudi Esports Federation. Please give a round of applause.
Your Royal Highness, esteemed guests, honored athletes from around the world. Welcome to Saudi Arabia, the center of the game. It's a true privilege to stand before you today as we open the 16th edition of the IESF World Esports Championship. A tournament brings together over 50 countries from around the globe, united by a shared passion for esport. Today, we gather at SEF Arena, which has become a powerful symbol of Saudi Arabia's commitment to the future of gaming and esport. Over the coming days, this arena will witness over 400 athletes compete in more than 200 matches across 6 tournaments. Every moment will showcase the dedication, skill, and passion of players who have come here to represent their countries. This championship is more than just a championship. It's more than just a competition. It's about collaboration, unity, and mutual respect. It's a celebration of our shared love for esport and an opportunity to learn from one another. Together, we are building bridges between nations and writing the next chapter in the story of esports. Thank you to everyone who made this event possible, from our organizers to our sponsors. From our esteemed partners to every single athlete, coach, and fan here today. To all athletes, I wish you success and unforgettable experience. Thank you so much.
The meeting of minds, cultures, and gamers from all around the globe. Thank you very much. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. Please, another round of applause for Mr. Boban Totovsky, the General Secretary of the International Esports Federation.
Your Royal Highness, dear guests, honorary visitors, athletes, delegates, thank you for being here to officially start the 16th World Championship in esports. It has been a long journey. It started last year on September 3rd in Iași, Romania, when we announced that Saudi Arabia is going to be the host of this championship. Since then, more than a million of athletes in their countries competed in order to qualify for the regional competitions, so they can represent their countries here and fight for the pride of being the world esports champion. As you all know, every year at the end of the competition, we are also announcing the overall champion. So this year, I can tell you from the statistics that we don't know which country is going to be. There are so many contenders. There are so many athletes here. For me, it's a pleasure to see all these countries here with us, fighting for this trophy, and there is a bigger trophy. So you need to collect more of these in order to get to be the overall champion of IESF. Today is a symbolic day, 11/11. In numerology, it has a lot of meanings, but one thing that is common is that it's a remarkable show of power, consciousness, and imagination. So our imagination has a lot of power. So whatever we imagine is something that we can together and jointly achieve in order to develop esports much further. IESF has been empowering champions since 2008, and it will continue to do so in the years ahead of us in any form or shape that we can do to make sure that the athletes are well represented and that every nation has a chance to compete and showcase their qualities and their strength. I know not every country can be good in every title, but every country has their own, like someone is better in PUBG, someone is better in Counter-Strike. We all know Southeast Asia always rules in Mobile Legends, but you never know. Sometimes a new champion will emerge. Hopefully that this will happen this year in Riyadh. I wish all of you to enjoy the competition. Be very patient with the referees. Please mind the integrity of the competition and have good communication with the referees, with all the delegates, to make sure that this competition is a high quality one. Good luck and have fun. Thank you.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So how are we feeling? Can I do a quick vibe check? Is everybody excited for the rest of the entire tournament? Man, I love being surrounded by gamers. Well, let me tell you what. Over here on the big stage, we've had PUBG Mobile being played, and we're also going to be having MLBB as well. As we did mention at the very start of this event, there are 4 different game titles. So the real question is, where are the other 2 going to be played? Let's go ahead and check in with Butter.
Well, thank you very much, Jasmine, for the amazing introduction, handling the other stage, as I'm right now in the second stage, as we're going to have 3 tournaments taking place right here. Counter-Strike 2, the open one, and then we're going to have another one for women and Dota 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and viewers around the world, we got 2 streams. The first one's going to stream PUBG and MLBB. The second one's going to have CS2 and Dota 2. We are right here at the second stage. A lot of action's taking place. The first stage is pretty much done, but we still have a lot of action taking place right here for CS2. You know, ladies and gentlemen, just to take a moment right here. For the IESF and for this championship, it's not about players just playing for the sake of passion, or maybe even for the pool prize. They're here to represent their families. They're here to represent their country. So, ladies and gentlemen, it really warms my heart. But now it's time to fire it up with our talents. Wallcasters, for the CS2, take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. We're straight into the action, I guess. I wasn't anticipating that. What an opening ceremony. That was pretty amazing. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah,
I just think our players are actually on the stage, as we just kind of saw
they're-
from the shots.
They're
so
on their way.
They were watching the opening ceremony. You might have even seen some of them there. The Portuguese were in the front row, so they need to get their shoes on and get over here onto the, the stage.
Come on now.
Yeah, the Team USA isn't there either. So we're here though.
They'll be here eventually.
Yeah, I guess we're hanging out. It's still a lot of games we played. I know Spain are hanging out. We ran into them before. We saw them in the audience too. They were in the front row of the audience. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw. We know the conclusion for France and Argentina as well. France won 2-0 against Argentina.
Yeah.
On Twitter, Argentina were basically saying, look, 13-7, 13-8. It felt like some rounds could have gone in their way. It didn't, and now they're here instead. So we will try and kill some more time before we get on to Anubis.
Yeah, we're here.
What do you think about Dust 2? Because I'll
Overall,
be honest.
awful map. Really dislike it.
Yeah, not about the map in general. I know you don't like it. I meant about that one between Portugal and USA, because we got in the green room and they were like, oh, Brandon, oh, it was close, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, da-da-da-da-da. Well, be quiet, because look, at the end of the day, Portugal won it. And now you go on to Anubis. It feels like Portugal, they are good at this map as well. We saw what Team USA could provide, but at the same time, D7 is very good on this map. She started to come into her element a little bit towards the end of the game. She's very good on this map. IGL'd quite a lot. for Ensafina on Anubis, so it should be a very competitive map on all fronts.
Yeah, I feel like you can feed the narrative either way, right?
Yeah, you could.
You can talk about Portugal, and you can talk about how these individuals are on their own teams are all really strong on this map, and how we expect them as the favorite to come through and perform really well. But then you can also kind of go the other direction, right? Which is what the desk was talking a lot about it, and it's the strength of Team USA, particularly on this Anubis map, which they've made their home, which is really cool to see. Like, they haven't gone to a Dust 2, which they could easily do. They've gone for a map that does have a little bit more depth to it, where if you do specialize, it gives you that edge, because they can rely on their D2 and Inferno of still being pretty solid. So, I think there's still a case to be made that, USA can push this to a third, but it's going to be tough.
They've got to fix their retakes. That's the thing for Team USA, is that they put themselves in so many good positions, and then the retakes really let them down. It was actually afterparts in the first series, it's now retakes in the second series. They need to try and strike this balance, because otherwise Team Portugal will come in here and they will win map 2. It's got to be a little bit sharper. Communication needs to be a little bit better for Team USA.
Yeah, it's interesting. We definitely saw, I think, really good stuff on the Anubis earlier in terms of, Olya, for instance, was phenomenal in terms of her anchoring on the A-bomb site. She ended up being one of the top performers in that team. I think Emilite as well, she was brilliant across that series versus Team Netherlands earlier. However, she really struggled against Portugal, which, whether that's just her being countered by the Portuguese play style or a bit of an up and down game, does happen. You do have the off map every now and then, but I think if Team USA do want to repeat the success they had on Anubis earlier, it's going to hinge entirely on her more than anything.
Do you think there's a world when that can happen, though? Do you think the USA can come out ahead here in map 2? Because I'm very stuck in my ways. I don't think it's happening. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Team Portugal are still going to win. Talk me and tell me why I'm wrong.
I think if it hadn't been such a close map in the end on Dust 2, I'd be full with you. If this had been a 13-7, 13-8, I'd be like, yeah, okay, Portugal are going to walk this through. But the fact that Team USA made that so competitive, and that was with a couple of players really struggling, including Emily, who plays such a pivotal role in the AWP on Dust 2. Your AWPer is, what, single digits? Zana is 20 plus kills, and you're still keeping it competitive and pushing it all the way to round 24. That shows that there is still a lot of solid, stuff that they can rely on this team, and they can still deliver even with a player dropping off. So I think going into Anubis, if we do get Emily back in the form that she showed earlier, this is going to be definitely a match that I think could send us to that third.
We had that conversation, didn't we? Just sort of about what's the trade-off. With Emmy having a good game, it means Emily has a bad game, and that can't really fly. At the same time, what is really good is we're getting that consistency out of Olya. I think Olya has been the surprise of the event so far for me. I knew coming into this that she'd be strong. I didn't know how consistent she'd be on every single map so far. And the fact that every single map Team USA have played, it's been on the stage. The fact that she is performing to this level is exceptional. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been really impressed as well, because, the last time we saw her on an international stage was with Saints, right, all the way back in Katowice, and that was a rough showing. It often is, tough, like when you are that real underdog team that comes through. They had a last-minute stand-in situation as well, right? So that was a really tough showing. So I feel like she didn't really get to show her potential there and what she'd been performing domestically in the North American impact scene. So for her to come here and immediately be stepping up and delivering, it's been great to see. And honestly, I'm more impressed than anything right now by all 10 players getting on the stage and getting ready so quickly since we went live, because they were sitting down when the cameras went on to us, and now they're all plugged in, ready to go. Let's get it on.
Yeah, let's do it. T side for Portugal. They elect to start this. And for D7, she's the one that compromises. She's not the one with Kevlar. Instead, she's got a Molly double flash. Portugal probe mid.
Portugal, okay. They got a lot of space. You can see Emily is going to fall back to Temple. And she just takes out Zana. Will be removed by Yun. That is the smoke and kit, I believe. So that is going to be difficult to lose, especially with that smoke now picked up by Ida.
This is interesting. You can hear this as well. If you're Catty Jones, you're hearing all of these players needs to collect the kill. It's messy, but she goes 1 for 1. That's good enough.
It's crazy she actually gets that. That looked like it was going to be complete whiff, and D7 doesn't miss those. Portugal now just going to slowly walk into A. You can see Mads is expecting the pressure to come at any moment, but the timing on this is ridiculous. She's anticipating it from every angle, but can't isolate all these players. But Kelsey's dropped the bomb. It is just Kelsey. A 1v2 now remaining, and they're going to swing onto her. The dual Beretta, so give her plenty of bullets to fight with, but she has to get past D7, and that's always a tough task.
That's actually really tricky as well, because Ida, it looks like she's committed into the fight. It's going to be a 3-2-1 double swing. Kelsey's the one that takes the initiative, and Ida just pulls out a knife and jumps away. That's so difficult to try and reset your aim and where you want to kind of have that target selection. I think Portugal play it really well. The fact that Ida is lurking in towards mid, we didn't touch on it, but the fact that she is waiting so patiently, allowing the space to be taken in towards camera, Portugal slow things down in the mid round. They wait ever so patiently, and they just get it over the line. An important pistol as well.
Yeah,
That's a mood setter.
That was a fun pistol round. I really liked how they had all these different players in these different places. Really keeping Team USA guessing with that one, and I mean particularly Caddy Jones getting that one kill on the B main push was enough, because she'd fallen for free, and it looked like she was going to be honest. Might have been a very different round. This one pretty straightforward for Zana, who walked into A, and when the smoke lands, she just starts to scale.
Oh.
Okay, Caddy Jones does get caught.
That's a Galil.
So a free little rifle to pick up.
It's interesting because you're speaking about the B main kill. I think what's interesting is you can take any single one of those fights and deem it as an important, like an MVP moment in the round. Because if D7 doesn't get the A main kill, suddenly USA have got that just locked off as an angle of approach. The 1-for-1 in towards B main was good because it delays that rotate over towards A. It's a really interesting battle going on between all 5 individuals on the server. And I think the moment it becomes individual-based Counter-Strike, that's where Portugal are going to play well. If Team USA start grouping up, moving more as a unit, that's where they're going to find their success.
Well, Mads will find a follow-up frag with that recovered Galil, so she makes good work of it. Don't think there's an AK for her to pick up, but you're more than happy to take the free rifle. Portugal with a 2-0 start, but now USA will be able to invest, so we won't see that all just yet. We still have the MAC-10 in Zana's hands. Does she want to throw that over, or...? Yeah, she does. So Caddy Jones will sell, and everyone is happy.
It's interesting. She could have bought an AWP there, but instead goes AK util. I wonder what the fast play will be. Lurk smoke for D7 over towards A main. Portugal, again, setting the tempo early. They want mid, and they want it now. I don't think Mads is going to be prepared for how quick they've scaled. This smoke will give a little bit of an indication.
Yeah, she's had to fall back. She's jiggling her own utility. And I wonder if Portugal are keeping an eye on the way USA were struggling on B, and whether they want to try and punish that. A push out, fully flash, everyone is blind, but Zano is the one that doubles up from deep, and she needed that because she had the bomb.
Yeah, that's the important thing. It's interesting that Emily's thrown the flash so deep, and then looks to reset in towards middle. Important find for Emily, and that locks Portugal out of that bomb site. Keep your eyes on middle, because Yun is still lurking, but D7 falls in the meantime, and Yun's been caught as well.
Oh yeah, great presence of mind to catch off Yun. Zano would need the full 5 to make this work. And they know exactly where she was. She has quite a nice little timing to walk through jail. This double up in CT is going to be incredibly difficult to break. She might be able to isolate this first kill, but getting past both these players, yeah, way too hard. Gives it her best shot, but her teammates all fall, and that really felt like Yun was going to be good for one, but Olya, the presence of mind to check that.
That's all off for Emily as well, because she's the one that throws that flashbang to let the players in B main, and they go through the smoke. She's the one that then rotates back in and gets a double kill. Takes the space out of Dark, makes it really one-dimensional for Zana, and they've got that info because it was Zana that traded out the B main players in the first place. You know that was always going to be sort of the mid pressure as well, because they took it so early.
It's crazy that Zana gets that double kill and that round still doesn't convert.
Big nade as well onto D7. Emmy waiting in the wings. This is your 4 spy out of Team Portugal.
Little fake flash, that's not going to sell anything because Olya is right there behind that smoke.
Look at how much space they keep being given in towards middle though. Team Portugal are really recognizing this and are trying to exploit. You have to be careful if you're the B main player because Emily's got the AWP.
This is the same story earlier against Netherlands. It just felt like there was this massive gap that was always available in middle.
Mads does this quite frequently where she will hold from this angle, so at least there will be just sort of an early warning system.
Yeah, they are going to get that signal, and at the same time, Caddy Jones puts pressure on. D7 gets a frag too. But now you know that they're kind of split up. With Ida coming through the back lines, they can just go straight into B instead of going into A. They split. Kelsey does take the space out A main. Oh, but it's not going to matter. Zana hits the shot with a recovered AWP. And it's all onto Olya. With such little HP, this feels incredibly difficult, especially with Zana on the line. She doesn't miss those.
I wonder actually if the info got relayed there by Mads, because it looked like there was a slight timing where she got off the angle, because Emily never turned around in tempo. And I know her attention was being sort of put on notice by Catty Jones over towards B main, but she never turned around at all, and that allowed Ida to come in and trade her. That was such an important kill.
Yeah, nice use of just contact from 3 different avenues at once, right? And for Team USA, it obviously caught them a little flustered.
Team Portugal did tell me that they managed to catch the end of the second map. But that was Inferno, that wasn't Anubis.
Okay, they're planning for the future.
They won't really have any sort of homework on these players. 5, in fact, make it 4 strong over towards A main. Mads on the corner, D7 ready to receive. It's Mads playing anti-flash, and will overwhelm. And that needs to get out of there. You needs to get out of there, that's the bomb.
Yeah, fall back in. She disengages. That could have got hairy. Still can. Zana's ult finds purchase, and now Molotov lands. They can't push any further.
And now they've taken space in towards mid. Catty Jones is still waiting here as well. There's an emergency exit for Team Portugal. It feels like they're playing some really consistent mid rounds here. And Team USA, once they have got their opening phase locked down, they don't really know where to go in the middle to end stages of rounds. I know this is just an eco. That feels like probably a harsh statement to say, but it feels like that is a consistent issue throughout this series.
Yeah, I feel like the gun round, they lost the round before, right, where that gap was in middle. That's a good example of that, where they kind of had this forward positioning in A main. They had this kind of setup on B, which was fairly passive, but they didn't really have any information gathering outside of Mads jiggling camera. Like, that was the only bit of spotting they were doing, and that was incredibly passive too.
This is a bit weird. Emmy's now going to hear the plant and the molly, but she hasn't really got the health to contend with it. Oh, and Ida's even just found a follow-up. This is done. Edge of the arm spotted on the corner, and Ida will claim both. Portugal go 4-1 up.
Strong start.
And it was the CT side that was good for Team USA against Netherlands, wasn't it? I think they got like 7 rounds, 5 rounds, something like that on Anubis. It was very dominant. They won the map 13-5.
Must have been 5 then. Oh, 7 then.
Sounds right.
See, it's the only way the maths makes sense.
Portugal are aware of these proactive moves that Team USA have been making, and it has also been telegraphed. That's something I definitely will say for Team USA, because on the gun rounds, they're only pushing out B main. On the eco rounds, they're only going A main. And mid is never a priority. Again, they've left it open. It's vulnerable. And here we go, that B main push.
We talk about the aggression, but yeah, it does feel a little one-dimensional, and I think Anubis is the map where you do have a lot of options for CT aggression, in fact. You know, the different stairs smokes you can do, the pushes out through dark and A main simultaneously, even drops out window. There's a lot of options, but it feels like they only go for the first port of call, which is that B push. This is a 1-for-1 this time.
That's interesting that Kelsey re-swings there, because this is the one round that Emily has actually given up Temple to go back in towards middle. You're putting a lot of reliability there on Emmy, who just swings and gets the trade.
This A split's actually in a pretty dire position, but D7 just hard clears Olya. Mads is still here with the FAMAS, can't deal with the second player. D7 doubles up, and he's still got Ewan lurking in middle. Emily will walk past and will actually go back for it, anticipating that play. Takes contact first to try and bait in this player. Keeps it at 2-on-2, which makes it interesting.
Yeah, winnable as well, because there's no incendiary to offset Emmy, but Emmy will wait instead for Emily. They're going to go about this together. Is there a kit on site? That's the next question. And how on earth do they get onto it? Because it's Zana holding with an AWP from Pillar, and then D7 can swing. This is all about timing. Both players coming in from camera. Zana hits the first shot and catches wind of the second. A missed opportunity, and nearly the chance for Emily, but D7 is undeniable.
Yeah, fantastic from D7 to close that. In fact, she opened up the site too with the 2 kills in A main. They were walking into the stacked bomb site. It was a 4-on-4, and there was 2 players in A main, 1 player in middle, and that's where they went with their split and almost would have been unraveled if not for D7. Emily, though, good to see a strong round from her. It's a real shame she can't close it out at the tail end there.
Yeah, it feels like it's Blue Otter Karma versus the world right now.
They
for
definitely
Team
feel
USA.
like the stronger players on this map.
They are. And just, I think in general, genuinely, I think they've been very good overall. And now we go for a faster play. Flashbang is amazing from Yun. Full blinds Emmy. Kelsey lies in wait in dark. Emily tries to come through this smoke, but Portugal, they've currently got the site under lock and key.
Yeah, resmoke lands too. Default plants, so the dark player can't disrupt that at all.
Nice shot.
All right, Ollie has hit a swift little deagle, but Ida will deal just about with Kelsey. Almost caught off, flustered. D7 just swings through.
She loves ecos.
Absolutely. Who doesn't? Ecos are very nice to get.
This is very one-sided. Extremely. Like, some of these rounds have felt close, sure, but you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 of them in the whole half. Most of the time it has been one-way traffic. I think USA need to adjust. I want to see the stairs smoke. I want to see her pushing towards mid. Maybe being a little bit more proactive with the AWP. That's the one criticism I will give to Emily all day. She's been very passive, very supportive, and sure, we need that stability. The desk has spoken about that, but also you need opening kills.
This time it's going to be the aggression out A main. Olya charges forward, but I think it's a miss smoke there. It was meant to go to stairs, not quite sure, but Olya is spotted nonetheless. Ida decides to disengage. So they do get the control. But given it was all seen, it feels a bit less potent than you'd hope.
Look at this dark play, though. They've reset, and they've got the right read of the situation, because currently Portugal are breaking smokes. They might not be ready for the sheer quantity of players. Yeah, Kelsey catches off not only Catty Jones, but also Yun.
Zana will get the trade back, and D7 too. Kelsey had to reload. Emmy couldn't get the frag.
And now you've got this lurk as well.
That's allowed them through, and yeah, you got this late stage search of Ida. She's just lurking through. Certainly will catch off one of these players. Oh, Zana though. Well, we found, but there's Ida removing Mads and Emily in the 1v2. You know she has to save.
Yeah. This reminds me a lot of a Face It Parga played against Ida on Anubis.
Okay.
Like, every round on T side, they'd just be pushing mid. And, like, I couldn't do anything about it. Like, I was just getting headshot every single round. And this feels like that pug.
You're just like USA for real.
Yeah, honestly, they just keep resetting in towards this mid play, and Team USA just can't stop it. This round, you've even got the reset. I really like the idea, though, that the fact that they've got 3 players in towards dark, Kelsey's the first point of contact, and then suddenly Zana and D7 are thorough in their clears. The presence of mind to check for another player there is ridiculous, because Kelsey taking that first contact, she's normally the B player.
Well, at least they save this AWP. The rounds are quickly running out for Team USA. Kelsey has invested the M4. Okay, she's going to sell. They decide to play this safe. Emily does have enough to invest next round as well, so see if they can set her up and maybe the pistols can do some damage.
I hope this gives them a bit of confidence now for the next gun round, though, because your aggression did work in one form or another, because you did get the respect out of Team Portugal and the map control. It was, again, just about the kills and the trades in towards dark. But I hope this still kind of gives them a little bit of incentive to fight. Emily wants an early engagement, but Portugal know the money's quite low, so they're going to go execute. And they're going to go and execute A.
Yeah, straight in. Simple. An attempt from Emmy to try and disrupt, but she gets full blinded as she tries to scale forward with that smoke. Yun's ahead of it. We will see at least these pistol players try and do something. No reason not to give it a go. Molotov will go over. Olya is in storage. I think Catty Jones got a whiff of that. Maybe not. Regardless, it's just damage control at this point. See if they can find any exits, get themselves an AK. That would feel nice, but the round is certainly done. Oh, nice shot from Mads. Fortunately, she can't pick up the AK, so she will take another down before her troubles. But the money is not a problem for Portugal right now.
Again, I'm gonna give a lot of credit to that to HS, because I know it was Team USA that called a timeout, but that means he can hop on the mic as well. And I think it's a really good option to go for an execute, because you know their money's going to be low. You know that Emily has just saved. It's going to be one AWP in play, and the rest are going to be pistols. So you just execute onto the site whilst they've got limited utility. You can have really good trade space over towards A. It's a lot more easier to sort of funnel out over the site. So that'll be an 8th round for Team Portugal. Here comes this full investment, and again, we look to the USA to find solutions for middle.
Zano is ready, but that flash almost catches her completely in the open, but Ewan is ready to trade.
It's so bait and switch. It's so simple, but it's so effective. Again, going back to what the desk was saying, if you can just trade space, you're going to have the advantage. And it's no different in this round. Further follow-up utility. Look at all the space gained.
Yeah, great Molotov thrown into camera. Ewan can just park up. There's yellow dots just swarming everywhere right now. Still got a player playing towards Dark, who's trying to be disruptive.
Yeah, look at her. She's just going. I'm not sure if Kelsey's aware of this. Ida's got so much room to work with. Has been caught off guard now. This will accelerate the A play. And Yun is still in enemy lines.
Yes, the thing, Yun has been there and has not paused. But the AWP is here as well. Emily will catch out D7. Advantage for Team USA. She still holds in onto the angle. Emily will deal with Yun. This looks a whole lot better. It's just Sana. Slight tag through the wall. Olga's there to finish the job.
That time, that was a lot of moving pieces for Team Portugal, and when they wanted to keep it simple, they made it complicated. As soon as Ida comes through that B main smoke, they should be pushing, and Yun should then be going. But Yun misses the timing because she slows down, and at that point, Emmy's already rotated over. And suddenly this mid lurk becomes completely redundant. At least that's something, but it needs to be consistent. It needs to be a flurry of rounds here. That flash is perfect from Mads. Emily will finally get the best of Zana, but not for long. It's even yet again.
It's good to see Emily taking some of this initiative.
Yeah, it's what we wanted, right?
Nice opening. Well, actually, I mean, Kelsey fell, so at least it's even.
But look at this reaction. You've got to bear in mind that every single time USA go to plug mid, it comes from Emily. Emily has now gone for the peak in dark. The reaction for Team Portugal, no one's going to be in mid. We'll just take the space.
I mean, no one's in mid most of the time anyway, to be fair, so they'll happily take that space. D7 on the lurk this time, will spot one, but Emily again is here.
That's further confirmation, though. The AWP is still on B. You just accelerate. Olya needs to hold A, and she does for the first and the second. And now it's just left to Ida. One player remains on this A bomb site, but she's trying to mind game it.
Yeah, disengages, and she's done it quite quickly, so she's going to be able to get pretty fast over towards B if she wants to go there. Emmy's taken a very forward position in B main, given that they don't have any control elsewhere, but Ida's actually going to go through middle.
Oh, this could work out really well, because if Emily doesn't check her corner, okay, she's back on the line. Oh, the timing. She's heard her run away as well. You've got to remember that Olya's still low on A.
Yeah, but if you're Ida, you're kind of tempted to chase this AWP, right? Emily comes back. Ida will convert the spray.
Player's still low on A.
Very low is Olya. She hides behind the cake. Ida might just be able to pull this off, but will she clear Olya? It doesn't look like it. Olya just slides around. Masterfully done. A 3K for Olya. A little bit of frustration let out. USA get a couple of consecutive rounds. And honestly, Brandon, if they can find a fourth, that could be enough.
Yeah, I genuinely, I believe so. But what I will say is very similar to D2. It was USA coming back alive right at the end, and then Portugal just snapped the momentum away from them. And that was when the halves were close. This one is not close at all at the moment. The buy is not great for Portugal. Zana's not got an AWP. D7's only on a Tech 9.
Can they get this fourth CT round? D7 teases the Tech 9. Maybe a full sense of security because there are rifles on the rest. And again, they look towards middle where they found so much success before. But again, Emily is present here, and Olya is not that far away to support.
Good molly. Really good incendiary. That buys a lot of time because it looked like Portugal wanted to scale quite quickly. Now Emily can begin her rotation to A, but D7 on the Tech 9 has found Olya.
That was a flash forward to set up Olya, and D7 wins that fight.
Caddy
Jerry Druids, Maddie. Finally, Emily gets a chance to shine, and she shines brightly. Sana removes Kelsey on the flank through A main, so it has to be Emmy and Emily, the two E's through heaven. Zana close in camera. They know she is here. You can see they want to throw utility forward to isolate her. But Ida, not that far behind, will swing forward, taking the fight into her own hands. And between her and Zana, they will secure that 9th for Portugal.
Yeah, really important round there for Zana. Not only getting the kill on towards Kelsey, but when Ida is isolated, she has to come through the smoke. Because you've got that back lanes player as well, just lying in wait in D7. It was so important that Ida doesn't get isolated there. Good fundamentals in the post plant for Team Portugal. I think 9 is a little bit out of reach now for Team USA. It is still T-side Anubis, but it is the most crucial pistol round they've played all day.
Good to see the former Bigger Kiefer core all delivering here as well. All 3 on double digits right now.
Saw that with Navi as well from Team Poland. Like, they're playing well together. It's a big old reunion here in Riyadh.
You can see they're feeling the pressure a little bit. It's not quite the high energy Team USA we saw earlier.
Yeah.
They know the pressure's on. This is serious moment to try and find their way back into this map and this series. I think also maybe a slight technical is part of this too. I see a smile from Mads.
You got to think about this as well, because it's not only double elimination, so you're not eliminated if you lose this game, but you get a day off tomorrow. And that is such a big thing. I think that's ESL Impact, how important it is to have that day off for teams moving forward into the playoffs. It's, to be honest, I think it's a slept-on thing. I think it'd be very good for either one of these teams. Like, if USA are able to reverse sweep this series, have a day off, I think that'd be brilliant for them.
Yeah, especially because a lot of these teams are unknown. You get more time to kind of watch their games too.
True.
And get an idea of your opponents. Kind of building the tape as we go. That's a nice drop onto D7. She had the dual Berettas as well, but Zana is being baited in close. Oh yeah, she goes completely unchecked, but Emmy will trade it. So they are able to find the space into the site. Emmy with another kill too. It's going to be Yun who's pushing deep with dualies. And Caddy Jones seems to be anticipating this position, but Emmy pretty solid with the pistol. She's looking for the full ace and she's calling for it. You know where Yun is. And Emmy in the prime position to confirm it. One more shot, Emmy, and there's the ace.
Yeah, well done. Really important round from Emmy. And she's letting them know. It's a step in the right direction for USA. Now it's a chance to build, because you imagine that Team Portugal are going to eco. They've got rounds to play with. They want all the utility. They want all the upgraded weaponry.
That's actually, I mean, I know it's an ace on the pistol round, but Emmy's been struggling, all right, after some really strong Dust 2 performances. Her Anubis has been a little bit more of a struggle here today, and those 5 kills definitely will have her feeling very fired up. And we know that, you know, she's actually quite an important part of this team in terms of the energy she brings and the positivity. I'd say Mads' energy can be a little bit more...
volatile.
Volatile, yeah, is that the word? It's definitely more fiery.
Yeah.
Whereas Emmy, I think, is more of the jokester of the group,
Yeah,
right?
I'd say
That's the
so.
vibe that she brings. So if she's in a good positive mood, that energy radiates throughout the team.
Yeah, it is true. And also, the Best speaks so highly of her, and she deserves it, because over the years, she's been proving that she is one of the top talents in the USA. It's now time to prove it, though, on the biggest stage. And hopefully that will kickstart her confidence. I mean, her stats look great now after that ace.
Yeah, it really helps, doesn't it?
Look at this, though. Round 1, from the word go, we've already got a deep stairs smoke. We've got proactivity coming out of Portugal, not only in mid, but also in dark.
They set the tempo early by just denying all this information immediately. It does mean they've dropped 3 of their smokes in the first 30 seconds.
And they haven't really done anything with the map control actually either.
I think they are going to start to look towards pushing B main, maybe. It feels like they need to take some space.
It's being held though by Mads.
Yun is just so isolated with that MP9 on A that you get a little
such
worried.
a wide swing. That's so wide from Catty Jones.
Emmy more than happy to pick that one up. That push did come through, they just walked out B main, so they have all of this space, but you can see Mads is aware of the possibility.
This all hinges on what Yun can find,
Oh,
actually,
no.
because if Yun can hold the door, maybe the door can slam shut. Flashbang, absolutely exceptional, and she still gets the kill anyway? That's ridiculous. And now that speeds up this mid play. They're going to get to camera, potentially not in time, but at least in time for the retake.
Yeah, potentially. Is there a smoke to land on camera for the CTs? You imagine so. So at the moment, they're blocked out from every avenue. Honestly, if you're Portugal,
I'd save.
You gotta save. But no, they want to give it a slight go. This is risky. You might lose these guns.
Nah, they think better of it.
Yeah, good call.
Good tempo there from USA because they respected Portugal's mid utility. They completely gave up the control and then they went and they looked elsewhere whilst they were still being cognizant of an extremity push being followed up by that mid play. They didn't fall victim to losing players out B.
All right, well, we've suddenly got a 3-round game. So, you know, from 9-3 to 9-6, it's already looking a lot more reasonable.
The money looks okay still by saving 3 players because Yun can invest. D7 can drop over at M4. Portugal now call another timeout because they're not satisfied with this. They don't want to give the USA an open runway to sort of catch up and close the gap even further. Because 9-6, you feel like you're still in control. 9-7, then you've got an eco. 9-8, suddenly the game escapes you. MR12, CS2, comebacks are more potent than ever.
And again, that little display at the top is slightly misleading at the halfway point. Emmy really is a T-side player, isn't she? She'll say,
is, yeah.
go kill Emmy. Not afraid to take those aggressive fights.
Yeah, it's because she's fearless, genuinely. Like, she does not care on T side. Like, she'll just go and fight everyone. What we have seen for the first time, actually, in this map is stability from Team USA. Like, the ground, in terms of the kills, is normally very far away from how high the highs are. But everyone is within a couple of kills of each other.
Emmy with the Mach 10 has taken space in A main very early. Again, 4 CT smokes have been dispensed in these first 30 seconds. So Portugal are putting a lot of emphasis on denying control early, but the question is, what do they do once they've done that?
Yeah, not a lot, it looks like. Ida needs to swing and potentially get info, but Catty Jones did that last round. Emmy's holding for exactly this play. And Catty Jones has now come over to try and help out Ida, but smokes are in. Nade feels good, but what else can you do with it? Flashbang forward, they're already in the site. Catty Jones can only go 1-for-1. Yun also finds a player out A, and now Ida's got space to work with in dark.
Yeah, Emmy getting caught is everything. It allows Ida to focus on towards side D7. Now looking to step out through Temple, and she needs to find this space because the rest of the team is moving in from dark. And Ida, what?
Sure.
That's outrageous. D7 will come around, and finally Portugal get their first CT side round.
Yeah, that was the cleanest retake of the whole lot as well, and it was because they were all in position, ready to go. And as soon as you're in position, that's where the contact comes through. And yeah, Ida gets a random kill through the smoke, but it's also facilitated by Yun getting the kill on the lurker and then coming in to help out Ida. It was a 2-player split from each department, and Team USA just couldn't handle it.
We will get the AWP out for Emily now. So that's going to be the difference into this round. Don't see the same for Portugal. But the fact they get onto the board and they do it in such a decisive fashion too, and that's allowing USA to get onto the bomb side is a good sign. Allows them to have everything they need into this round. There you go, you got the information, that orb's in play.
D7 no stranger to contact and aggression over at mid. She's actually playing ahead of that Molly. Now gets Molly again and has to fall back and take the space. So you got to look at Ida, make sure she doesn't get isolated. Molly will push Emmy forward into the corner at the bare minimum. You got to be still so careful here if you're Portugal.
I feel that HE should have done a lot of damage, but just didn't.
Just HEs and CS2. Sometimes they're dead on and they do like 2 damage.
It's like a game of chess here in Dark, just the exchange of utility both ways. Each player trying to get full control of it, but the CTs do win out with that smoke that gets deployed. That was the last one. This is going to be A. You can see they gather the troops, but a double setup close main. Zana playing anti-flash, Ewan looking for first contact. Oh yeah, will swing, and between the two of them, they've taken down 3. And Zana's not done yet. Zana's going to keep on charging through, and you cannot stop Zana.
Really well played from Zana because Ida had walked through Dark at the same time. She was in water, she even got the dink on the A main player. And at that point, there's 2 choices, disengage or keep fighting. Zana chooses the latter and lets Team USA know that Portugal have arrived here on the CT side. And without a couple of rounds now of no bomb plant, they will be forcing, they will be going all in here. So if Portugal win this round, they probably win the series.
Double tech 9s. Oh, it doesn't feel good. What a downgrade for Emily who had that AWP. Ida and Olya will trade 1 for 1. Ads tries to catch out Zana, who's just retreating, but Kelsey does remove Caddy Jones, just the spam through the smoke. Good again on the aggressive push, was held for, but Olya is caught out.
It's just so dynamic. There's so much going
D7's
on.
in the
I was going to
back
say, D7's push mid. It's got 2 there.
What?
She just lines them up and takes them both down. And Zana moves into Glyph to remove Mads. It's too much to handle for Team USA. Team Portugal, you see them on one side of the map, suddenly they're in the backline, suddenly they push mid, they're out B, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they just got absolutely crunched on there by Portugal from every avenue. D7's just cheating.
I told you she's good at Anubis. This is her best map by far.
That's ridiculous. She didn't even know there was a second player there. Like that was just a complete freebie. All right. USA, we're on a good run, but now Portugal take back control. 6 chances to close the series. Lock off that playoff spot. A fast play into A, though, could be the answer, but D7 and Zana have their own answers they want to throw for these questions. Emmy gets 1 kill. Ida is low, but Zana is still here, at least for the moment. That's a warning shot. She has 1 HP. Has to be careful dropping that HE onto the smoke. She gets the leg to Emily. You've been brilliant so far, but I don't think the 1v3 is on the cards. The bomb is firmly in control of Portugal. What can she do? Ida's even locking off the fallback.
That's on 10 HP. She's just dropped water. They can taste it. They know it's coming soon, and it will be silenced and answered by Catty Jones. It was close on Dust 2, but Anubis is a completely different story, and Team Portugal take the series 2-0.
Yeah, they're more dominant on their opponent's map pick than on their own. Team USA put them through the paces on Dust 2, but on Anubis, it was a completely different story. That first half was lights out on the T side. Anubis, you can tell they feel at home here, and that's a massive win for Portugal. They top the group, and yeah, that's, I think, maybe a surprise for some, but some of us are true believers.
Never in doubt for Team Portugal. And it was, as soon as they took that timeout, they started becoming a lot more dynamic on that CT side. And it just kept Team USA constantly feeling absolutely horrible.
Yeah, but for Team Portugal, they feel great. And they're going to go around now, just some little fist bumps for each other. It's not over for Team USA. It's worth remembering this was the upper game of the group. So thankfully, we have this lovely GSL format with all best of 3s. So even if you lose this upper game, you get down into the lower bracket and another chance to qualify through there. And you still have Team USA as a favorite to make it out of this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I still think they showed really good stuff in this series, especially on Dust 2. I was really impressed with the way that Emmy was playing and the fact that she was able to build herself back in on that second half of Anubis as well. I just think some of the other players just went missing a little bit. I think day 1 nerves as well play a part into this, and now you got to reset. You were so close into having a day off, but now instead you've got to come back here and play another best of 3. But every single best of 3 now, your tournament life's on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know,